Hey everyone, today's guest brings a rare combination of public leadership and business expertise. Rhonda Shader is the former mayor of Placentia, CEO and founder of the Shader Insurance and Financial Services, and currently sits on the board of Lot 318, a nonprofit serving at-risk youth. First elected to the Placentia City Council in 2016 and serving 2 terms as mayor, Rhonda didn't just talk about reform, she delivered it. She launched Placentia's first ever independent fire department, cut wasteful spending, improved emergency response, and saved the city over $28 million, all while safeguarding a critical public service for residents. A champion for fiscal responsibility, Rhonda implemented common sense budgeting and long-term financial planning that set a new standard for accountability and transparency. Her leadership helped stabilize city finances and protect taxpayers from Sacramento-style mismanagement. Rhonda has been a fierce advocate for local businesses and working families. When the pandemic hit, she took decisive action, streamlining licensing, eliminating barriers for small businesses, and helping employers stay open and keep their teams working. She also created California's first city-county infrastructure district, a groundbreaking partnership that generated 5,000 good-paying jobs and expanded economic opportunity across the region. Her commitment to community runs deeper than public office. Rhonda has served on the St. Jude Medical Center Community Health Committee and the Orange County Human Relations Commission. She has been a strong voice in the Orange County Legislative Committee, the Orange County Association of Cities, and the Southern California Edison Government Advisory Committee. Her leadership is rooted in compassion, collaboration, and a belief that strong communities start with strong families. Professionally, Rhonda is a small business owner running a local insurance agency. A former corporate executive, her background includes experience in banking and risk management, giving her a well-rounded understanding of the challenges Californians face. She holds a bachelor's degree in management from the University of Phoenix and a paralegal degree from Rancho Santiago College. She now plans to take this experience to the state senate and is on the ballot in California this year. Her work is all about turning leadership into action, helping people lead with purpose, strengthen teams, and create lasting impact. Welcome to the show, Rhonda. I want to thank you for being here today.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about your work. Would you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself? And we talked about briefly about some past work, and then you're working on some new things now.
Yeah. So really, I mean, my story basically is that I am an entrepreneur. I own my own insurance agency, and I was minding my own business, building my business. And of course, that meant I got out into the community a lot. And come to find out through a colleague, my city where I live was in deep, deep financial trouble, on the verge of bankruptcy. And she said, I think you should go try to help them. And, obviously that means running for city council where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And so I thought about it and I thought, you know what, why not? I'm in a good position to try and go help out. And I really just looked at it as kind of like another area of service, right? It's like being on the Rotary Club or the Women's Club or something. I'll also serve the city. And that's kind of how I got into it. And I ended up just really being able to make a difference and just loving the work. And so that's what I'm really excited to share with your listeners, and just how impactful that can be to the local community to have really good, strong, common sense minded people in government at a local level really can make a difference.
Yeah. So the idea of city council kind of scares me because just, I know that's kind of a small place to start, but I feel like you're almost held more accountable on city council than you are in higher positions because you know a lot of these people, and I feel like a decision that someone doesn't like, they can take it personal. And then it's all over the town Facebook page, you know?
Right. That is very, very true. So you you either learn where to place that and how to deal with it, or you get out.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it
Uh-huh.
is especially at the city council level, that is the place where people can bring their grievances
Yeah.
because it's so accessible. It's literally right in your city. There's a meeting twice a month, and you can come say whatever it is on your mind and what you need to say for 3 minutes.
Hmm.
And
Right.
our job is to listen to you. That was a big learning process for me, but it created a lot of growth in my life as well. Just understanding that process. But you are absolutely right. And it's so funny because I live in an HOA, which is like a homeowners association.
Yeah.
And when I ran for city council, they were so mad at me because they're like, why didn't you run for our board? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this crazy neighborhood? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a fight with my neighbors. So it was so funny because I kind of saw my neighborhood association like you're seeing city council, but they are very close
Uh-huh.
in the sense of how they're elected, and you run something and people can get to you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where I live. Everybody has my phone number. But honestly, like that's the way our government is made to run. Like
Yeah.
that's how it works best.
Right. Right. There's this like fake, it's an AI page that does fake HOA meetings, and it is hilarious.
Oh,
But
I can only imagine.
mhm,
But no, I have not seen that
yeah.
one.
So, I'm assuming the same thing can be applied to all levels of involvement. But for me, when the city council like makes a decision that maybe I don't like, and I can't go to the city council meetings because I work second shift right now. One of the council members has started getting on our Facebook page or the city page and explaining this is why we voted for these things
Mhm.
and going in detail. And then I always make sure, even if I don't agree with the end decision, I always make sure to tell them, thank you for actually taking the time to explain what your thought process through this, because I think communication goes a long way versus just saying yes or no to something.
No, I absolutely agree. And quite honestly, there's always different ways of looking at something, and everybody's going to have their own ideas. But at the end
Mhm.
of the day, you're the one they voted for. And many times your city council members are privy to information that you're not, right? Because
Right.
they're in it. So we get a lot of background information that a lot of people don't have. And that is a great elected that does that, because every time I made a decision, not every decision is controversial, but whenever I made a bigger decision, I always explained my personal thinking.
Mhm.
Like, this is how I went about this. These are the things I questioned. This is who I met with. And this is the conclusion that I've come to that I think is best for our city based on all the factors. And it does take extra work. It takes extra communication. But that's your job. That's what you agreed to do. And I say job lightly because most of these positions are very low paid,
Right.
and you give way more than you get back financially. But you still agreed to do it. You went in and said, elect me, and I'm going to do this for you. So I feel like you need to make that extra effort and try to explain. And to your point, it doesn't mean everybody agreed with me, but I hope at
Mhm.
the end of the day, they were just like, okay, at least I know where she's coming from. And there's so many people, including colleagues I had on my city council, that don't want to do that. They're either voting lazy, or they are just, I don't know, going with their gut, or siding with one personal agenda, and so they
Mhm.
don't know how to explain that to people. But either way, it does take extra time, and so that would be the differentiator, I think, that extra communication. But it is a lot, and one of the things, you're paying attention to it. There's
Mhm.
so many people that don't.
Right.
And I think that that's the frustration in city council is why am I even bothering?
Right.
People are busy and no one's paying attention to what I'm doing anyway, right?
Yeah.
But you can't do that because I learned. So we record our meetings.
Hmm.
So like someone like you that can't attend,
Hmm.
first of all, you could always send me an email in advance to tell me what you think about something, but also you can go back and watch it. So that's why I
Gotcha.
did a lot of my explaining there because social media, so many things can happen. So I really treaded lightly on that because it can always be taken weird and
Yeah.
then it can start this comment thing going. And
Yeah.
I love the tool, but there are times when the tool can be out of control, especially when it comes to really controversial things that people see very differently on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the comment section is funny, especially if it's a bunch of people that you actually know, but other places you go into the comment section and it's like, where where did these people come from? It kind of makes me concerned for our population as a whole when you see
Right.
this the things being written.
Totally. And I mean, that's another good point. Like the whole world can come in and weigh
Yeah.
in on this if they want to. And at the end of the day, as a city council person, you're like, I'm worried about one group of people and that's it. So
Yeah.
sometimes you want to reply back and say, I'm sorry, what is your address?
Right.
Because they may not even be from your town.
Yes. And I love that X, the new name for Twitter. I love that they now show what country you're posting from because there are people from other countries commenting on US politics all the time.
Totally.
And
Yes, that
yeah.
is true. Yeah.
We recently had fights over a chicken ordinance. And it got wild. And somehow, like, because our page is public, it was showing up all over Iowa. And so yeah, like you go into the comment section and none of these people are names. I used to bartend here in a small town, so
Yeah.
for me to only recognize two names out of 300 comments is kind of okay.
Suspicious. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But so with you being in California, I feel like there are a lot of people from other states invested in California politics. And how do you deal with that?
Um, I would say you probably don't. Like, in other
Hmm.
words, that only means so much to me
Yeah.
because in California, we have to deal with what the hand we've been dealt. So I am a conservative. And so in California, that can be rough territory at times. And honestly, a conservative in California is probably very different than a conservative in other parts of the country.
Hmm.
So I would say like, especially at the level like city council level,
Hmm.
not as much. But I do have to say, even at city council, and then obviously I'm looking forward to possibly serving at the state level, which we'll
Hmm.
talk about later. But at a state level, we electeds learn from each other. So I do have to say there's a lot of sharing that goes on, even between California cities. Like we
Hmm.
have organizations and stuff where we learn best practices, maybe even ways to get around a state law that doesn't work for our community
Hmm.
without doing it illegally. So there's a lot of sharing that goes on. And so I got to imagine at the state level, you would do that same exact thing because there are other states that are doing things better than us. And then maybe we're doing some things that people might be looking at, lessons learned, all of that, believe it or not,
Hmm.
that does go on all the time in politics. Because at the end of the day, it's good policies that
Hmm.
really make people's lives better, make communities better. And so we're always looking for those things. Like there's a lot of things that are sensationalized, but it's that good, solid, basic policy put into place that helps your police do their job, that helps, the development people do their job, right? Like, so that's what
Yeah.
you're really doing day to day. You're not doing sensational work all the time, and it's not all controversial. And a good elected understands that and spends most of their time in that place because that's what makes communities better, right?
Right.
Infrastructure, public safety, the things that bring quality of life to people in a city, and we were talking earlier, is if your city is doing a good job, you're probably not thinking about them very much
Hmm.
because things are rolling along. You're getting everything you need. The basics are being taken care of in your community. And it's just once in a while when they delve into something that, like you said, the chicken policy, like
Yeah.
that can affect a lot of people. People see that differently, right? And so, things can come up, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that you mentioned that because I wasn't quite sure if people worked together like that or if everybody was separate. I
Yeah.
uh I like some of the things Ron DeSantis is doing with Florida, and I'm like, okay, so I mean it stinks because we our governor's Kim Reynolds and she's not running for reelection, and so I feel like a lot of people are focused on our gubernatorial race,
Sure.
and it's like, oh, but if we weren't having to focus on that, maybe we could focus on like what Florida's doing and maybe come up with, our own, abolishing property taxes and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're looking at some amazing, I think, cutting edge things like,
Hmm.
and that's conservative thought on steroids, but
Yeah.
they've created an environment for it. So I would challenge you, like, those are questions for the new governor.
Right. Yeah.
Like, where is that person willing to go there? Because do you have like an 8-year thing for
It's, um,
two terms?
no, it's unlimited. So
Really? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone gets in there, they could be there a long time. So that's
Yeah.
even more important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, I'm gonna feel really stupid. But I was looking that up because yeah, I know like so like
It's
DeSantis.
pretty rare, but Iowa is a special state. So
Yeah,
I believe it. It's possible.
yeah, yeah. There's a couple. I think there's a couple different states that do that, and then so I think with Florida, like it was, and you'll have to tell me what California does, but with Florida, from what I understand, is that DeSantis can run again in 4 years, but he you can't do more than two consecutive terms. And
Oh, I no, I think in California it's you get two terms, that's it. 2 4-year terms.
okay, okay,
Oh, you know what? That is not true. Because we had Jerry Brown twice.
oh,
So Jerry Brown, he left for way more than 4 years. I think he was gone at least a decade, if not more.
uh
Um, but you're right. We did, so they could come back. Oh, thanks for scaring me.
huh. Yeah, yeah,
We do
that's
not want our California governor to come back. No, thank
yeah.
you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, if you don't want one to come back and they keep finding their way
Yes.
back
And,
in.
that's actually true of city council as well. We have term limits in my city, but
Uh-huh.
you could sit out a term and then come back in if you want. That is a
Okay.
possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of places you need to do that because it is hard to find people to run for office.
Right.
So you don't want to close out that possibility if you can't find anybody else, or maybe you had a good person. Like when Jerry Brown came back, his second run in California, he had specific reasons for doing so, right? And then
Right.
at the time, there was probably nobody in his party that was really rising to the top.
Hmm.
And so he was willing, to come back for another run. And he did, when he came back, he had a very specific agenda for California when he came back
Okay.
that
Okay.
he accomplished.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Okay. I just looked it up and Iowa is one of the states that's unlimited 4-year terms. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost like Congress, right?
Right.
But they have to run every 2 years. The way you get them out is you vote them out.
Right. Yeah.
So
And I guess what do you think about term limits?
I love term limits.
Yeah.
I think they're very important. Although I have to say that, we just talked about some downsides of them.
Hmm.
As far as like if you can't find people to run, because there's some like really small cities. My city is not that small. My city is 53,000 people,
Okay.
but it's still hard to find people to run in certain areas of the city because people just don't want to,
Right.
and I don't blame them. It's not an easy thing to do. But I know in the Constitution, that was the idea, is that, Congress and Senate, the way you get them out is you vote them out.
Mm-hmm.
But I always, I always wonder about that, because did they anticipate how big the United States was going to get and how voters were going to have such apathy? You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like most people don't even know who they're voting for,
Right.
or
Right.
what has gone on with that congressman or that senator. They're just very unaware.
Yeah.
And so it does make me have concern, but I'm not interested in changing the Constitution, because I still think that those ideals hold
Mm-hmm.
to today, and I feel like we should honor that. But that's only at the federal level, right? So
Right.
state, local levels, I think term limits are very important. I had a couple colleagues, and I have some cities around me where it's unlimited, and you start acting different. You
Right.
start leading differently. There's a different, I don't know, there's something that goes on. And I don't want to use the word entitlement, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's something like pride, entitlement. You know what I mean? Just like there's a different attitude that you bring to the table. And whereas somebody coming off the, fresh in, or, in their first couple of terms,
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like after 8 years, my city has 12-year term limits, but
Uh-huh.
I felt like after 8 years, I had done some great work. I grinded out the first four. The second four were a lot more fun because
Yeah.
the hard work had been done. And I thought, you know what? That's good. I need to give somebody else a try. But it was really hard to find somebody else to run. I'm
Okay.
not going to lie. It was hard because we're in districts. So the person had to live in a certain area. And
Right.
I put out texts, I put out calls. I was trying to find people to run. And at the end of the day, there were two people that ran.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't easy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And now, what's going on with the redistricting in California? Where are you guys at with that? I can't remember.
Well, I mean, basically what happens is you get sued. So,
Okay.
and it usually has to do with the diversity on your council. So, for
Uh-huh.
instance, here in my city in Placentia, we have a large Hispanic population in a certain area of town. And so they made that its own district because the thought is that hopefully a Hispanic leader in that community would step up and represent them on city council.
Mm-hmm.
That was my district. I'm not
Yeah.
Hispanic.
Right.
But the people were happy to have me represent them. I did it for 8 years. I had a good relationship with my community. They didn't look at it that way. But then when it came time for someone to run, we didn't have a Hispanic person step up that they felt like could lead them. So, or that they trusted, whatever the case may be. And so, again, now they have a white male representing them. But I think sometimes there's assumptions made. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think that Hispanic people, maybe they would enjoy one of their own, but they also enjoy just a smart, capable person that's going to listen to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't really care, what their color or heritage is.
Yeah.
They care about the person themselves and their interest in them. So, there's some downsides to that. But yeah, you just basically get sued, and then you have a choice to make. You look at your council and say, are they right?
Mm-hmm.
And in our case, in that moment, they were right. We have had in and out some Hispanic council members, but in that moment, they were right. And we felt like we're going to lose this argument.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and went to districts, had the people vote on it. But I do have some cities around me that when they got sued, they were like, I'm sorry, we have a very diverse council and we're not going to bend to this. Like, it
Right.
doesn't make sense for our city. And so far, so good for them.
Yeah.
Plus, there's obviously new laws coming out. Like, the Supreme Court just made that decision.
Yeah.
That you can't be doing that. Using different criteria, the Voting Rights Act. So I think that has calmed down a little bit. But
Mhm.
basically, you had a law firm that was going around suing people, and
Right.
by people I mean city councils, the public for to change things.
Yeah.
And it usually was someone disgruntled that had lost a race, to be honest with you, because you have to have a plaintiff, right?
Right.
That was the case in our city. You
Yeah.
know, the Hispanic person didn't win re-election, and so I don't want to say that it was his personal motivation, but at the end of the day, this lawyer found that person and got them to sign on,
Hmm.
right, to file this lawsuit. So here we are, in these with these tiny districts.
Yeah. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to tell you about my sponsors quick. Sometimes I get on a roll cleaning or gardening and I need a boost, but I don't have time for a meal. Big Fork Brand's pork jerky is the perfect choice to keep my momentum, offering high protein snacks for on the go energy boosts. Not only do they offer pork jerky, but they also make pork sticks, bacon sausage, bacon hot dogs, and burger and hot dog sauces. Products come in a variety of delicious flavors, including Thai green curry and maple and brown sugar for the meat options, and gangster and Chicago fire for the sauces. I personally think the original flavor of the pork jerky hits just right after tackling a big chore. It's a little salty and very flavorful. My discount code gives you 20% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit bigforkbrands.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Are you looking for a gift for a music lover or maybe some apparel to show off your quirky side? Old Glory has you covered. With over 300,000 officially licensed items covering music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture, you're guaranteed to find the perfect item. They even have seasonal gear. My husband enjoys the Led Zeppelin and Beatles apparel, and I love the Billy Idol apparel. I even found some items for my fellow plant enthusiasts. This family-owned superstore is known for their quality and customer service, offers free standard shipping on all orders, and orders are shipped the same day you purchase. My discount code gives you 15% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit oldglory.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant, packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Harnessing the best nature has to offer, Zevo Life nourishes your body while driving your performance, vitality, and overall well-being. Each serving is a concentrated source of clean, well-balanced nutrition designed to support modern lifestyles, and just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. It's no wonder it's receiving 5-star reviews. Step into a healthier future with a 30% discount and a 30-day risk-free guarantee by visiting zivo.life and using my promo code. To support my show and to receive 30% off your entire order, enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. That's one thing that Iowa doesn't really have to deal with. I think if we were Democrat run, that, there may be a little district in the middle of Iowa around like the Des Moines, Ankeny area to get a blue seat there, but it's just split into four equal sections. And I just think that's the
Yeah.
most fair way to do it, really. But
Right. Yeah. 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 So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move because to your point, like, I don't think it works for every community.
yeah,
And I think communities, they're smart. People are smart and they can flesh that out. Like, if
Yeah.
it's really an issue for their city and they feel like they're not getting representation,
Mhm.
they will run somebody,
yeah,
right? And they'll work that out in an election.
yeah, yeah. So what made you decide to run for state senate?
So I really enjoyed my work on city council. I mean, I was literally able to turn my community around, not single-handedly, but I was a catalyst for change in my community. And I was able to bring so much value. The whole time I was there, I was mayor twice because we rotate the mayor.
Oh,
And the whole time I was there for 8 years, California in particular, laws kept coming out of there because our legislature is full time. So they pump out probably 2,000 laws a year. They don't all get finalized, right? Because the governor can veto things. But we usually get between 800 and 1,000 new laws every year. It's unbelievable volume.
Okay.
And so whatever their agenda is, it trickles down to cities. And so their public safety agenda, their development agenda for housing, there are a lot of things that come down from there that just don't work for cities. Cities are constantly juggling because we may be doing something that the state is requiring us to do, and our residents are very upset because they're like, that doesn't work here. That doesn't work for our community. We don't want to see something like that here. And so there's this disconnect between the state and the cities, and sometimes the county and the cities. I'm sorry, the county and the state.
Okay.
So there's this, trickle down that's not working for a lot of cities. And so that made me get motivated to say, you know what, we need better conversations going on in Sacramento. So we have a Democrat supermajority, which means whatever their agenda is, they can do it.
Right.
They can do whatever they want. They can push it through. Doesn't matter how shady it looks.
Right.
Because nobody's going to question it. And it's very frustrating. But in my personal opinion, my job is, if I think that's wrong and it's not working, then I need to do something about it. Yeah. So it doesn't mean everybody has to run for office, but it means some of us need to. And it was my experience in, growing up and when I was younger, that this is the way it happens at state level. A person that's in business, like myself, whose business has matured, maybe they're starting to near retirement or whatever, and they can walk away from that business for a time,
right,
and go into public service, and then come back out. Right? You go up there for a time and make a difference and come back out. Basically, it's like what I did for city council. I will volunteer the next decade to help my state do and be better and to represent the people in my area. Because, of course, it's a district, right, in California that I would run for. Because I think there's a better way to run things. Like I want to talk about that. I want my people represented. They've asked for some things that the state's just ignoring. So I want to go up and fight for that for them, and be a voice up there. And so that's really kind of my heart, is to meld that disconnect, that's not working for North Orange County, which is where I'm from in California. And so, the cost of doing that work is an election. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm running, which is always difficult for a conservative in California. Right. But there's a lot of us that are like, if we don't keep giving different messages to the people that vote, they are only going to hear one thing. They're not going to hear that there's a better way to treat businesses, that the free market is better, that criminals should be prosecuted, that, our cops need tools to keep us safe, just like some basic things in California that are being eroded. Yeah. And the simple fact is, it's because the Democrats that are running our state, they look at those things differently. They don't think those things should be done. They're very soft on crime, and they don't want people getting in too much trouble that they can't get back out, if that makes sense. So right. I understand where they're coming from. I just don't think it's effective. In my opinion, it hasn't proven out in our state. Things have not gotten better. They've gotten worse. The cost of living has gone up. Crime has gone up. People feel unsafe. Businesses are not thriving. They're not doing well. They're suffering. And so we don't have to live that way. Right. And that's my message. It's hopefully a message of hope. Like,
Right.
no, actually, there's some things we can do to turn it around. You understand those things because you're from a state like that. And all you have to do is look
Hmm.
to another state that's being ran really well and see that it wouldn't take much for California to change.
Right.
And I'm not saying California is going to be like everybody else. California is very unique, and we do have, a very diversified voting base. And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
It's just gone too far one way.
Right.
It's gone way too far. There's literally no balance in our state at all. And so that is really the fight. And that is my passion, is that I will continue to fight to get that alternative out. That there's another way of doing things.
Hmm.
You don't have to, give in to what's going on. And I think a lot of people in California feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, you got to go with that or you're out.
Right.
And that's just not true. It was never designed to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear some people say like, oh, California is too far gone. And I don't believe that. Just seeing how many people that I saw, like Spencer Pratt reach, and you've got Steve Hilton in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people are realizing exactly what you said, is like, it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to keep doing things the way
Yeah.
they've been done.
Yeah. And I think that for us conservative candidates here, the struggle is that we don't have the obvious like financial support and, let's say, media outlet support
Mhm.
that other candidates have here. So we have to grind it out in other ways. We have to find other ways to raise money. We have to go to the grassroots, right? We have to find people.
Yeah.
Sometimes we even have to go outside our state for people that believe in the values that we believe in, to bring them here. I think that's the challenge. But to your point, it is very hopeful that someone like Steve Hilton got into the general election here. Like, we're actually going to have a choice
Yeah.
to vote for something different this time. And that's very exciting
Yeah.
than having two people that are very similar. You know what I mean? Like, have the same ideas. At least this time we're going to have some contrast. And for me running, I love that, because people are going to be hearing at a very high level what the choice is, right? How things. And I read Steve Hilton's book. He's ready to go with policies. And when he says we can have $3 gas here instead of almost $6 gas here,
Yeah.
and I understand what's behind that. It could literally be done here. No problem.
Right.
It would not take that much to turn things around. So to your point, like, we're not that far gone. We're one election far gone.
Yeah.
So as soon as the people that are voting can catch up to that and can embrace that and want something different, that's available to them.
Hmm.
And you get that right person in office, and things can turn.
Yeah.
So very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's even it's important for everyone to vote, but I think it's even more important for people to vote in states like California, because your guys' primaries are different than others.
Yeah.
Everyone's on one ballot, whereas for Iowa, you're going to get a Democrat or a Republican regardless, because they're separate ballots.
Correct.
So you really need, if there are people that want things to change, they need to get out and vote in every election. You can't be just doing the general election.
Yeah, and especially the Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
we need all of them to vote, because it's a smaller voting base. And
Yeah.
however, a lot of people don't vote here. We were at 40% in the primary.
Oh.
So if we can get more conservatives to vote for change, there is the possibility of winning, because the other side is not getting out and voting.
Mm-hmm.
So it is strategically, when you're running for office, it's very different here.
Yeah.
For instance, in my race, I worked really hard to make sure that I cleared the Republican field. In other words, I didn't want to have to run with another Republican
Mm-hmm.
because then we deplete the vote and two Democrats could get through. So we work really hard to make sure that there's just like one Republican that's capturing all the conservative vote so
Yeah.
that we have people in the general election. Yeah, it's just a totally different mindset in
Yeah.
how you have to run a race. So, but it's kind of all we know here at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
It's been that way for so long. I do remember when it was different. I'm old enough to remember that, but it has been this way for a very long time
Okay.
since I've been in politics. So it's, yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is, you know, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
until we get the right people in office, it's not going to change.
Right. That's, there is a group here in Iowa that wants to do it the way California does. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, if it's the top two people, like, what does it matter what party it is if that's the top two people that are supported? And then again, not to get too much into conspiracy theory land, but seeing what happened with Spencer Pratt in that race, it's like, I don't. It just goes right back to the point that you were making. Like you can't get change if you're electing the same types of people. And I just think that the way we do our primaries is a little bit better.
Yeah, you have to be careful because I think what happened, they didn't anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a state that's 50-50, or right now you have a state that goes your way, the way you are politically, that could change. States do flip-flop from time to time. And so what we have here in California now is 60% Dems, 40% Republicans. So what happens is 40% of the state is not represented.
Right.
At all because of the 60%.
Yeah.
So I think they were short-sighted because at the time they passed that law, and it was a proposition, so the people voted on it. But I think it was a Democrat and a Republican that put it on the ballot, right? So they were working together. But at the time, the registered voters was much more even on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they saw it, to your point, like as, well, hey, top two, right?
Right.
They didn't realize that it could get so far lopsided that literally, 40% is a lot of people.
Yeah.
That, potentially have no one representing them. And now with Prop 50, which is our congressional seats that they gerrymandered, it's that way at the federal level too. And so you just start getting very frustrated as a Republican because there's no leadership that is your voice at the table, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're just getting shut out.
Right.
So don't let that pass in your state.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Don't do it.
I know. I'm kind of nervous about it. I am talking to somebody about it. But yeah, that's not something I'm going to push for.
Yeah, you can't do it on today's situation.
Yeah, right.
Because that may not always be the situation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the top 3 issues that you want to tackle with your campaign?
So for sure, cost of living. And there's so many things underneath that. There's housing, there's gas, there's food, there's utilities. Just the day-to-day living stuff has just literally quadrupled here. And a lot of it is driven by environmental policy, the agenda that they have here, and the decision. I always jokingly say, but it's not a joke, it's death by 1,000 cuts. So when you're pumping out 800 to 1,000 bills, everybody's got a good idea every session, right, about something else. And every decision, they keep saying they understand affordability, and yet they vote for these things that are going to increase the cost of living. So I'm out in booths and talking to people on the street, and I always say, which one is the worst for you in particular, right? Because I'm just curious. And honestly, the one thing we can all agree on, because some people here have been in their homes for 40 years.
Yeah.
So their housing costs are dialed in. Other people, it's very expensive. But for a lot of people that live here and vote, that's not their issue. They don't like how much it costs, but it's not affecting them personally. Food affects everybody.
Right.
And there's literally a bill right now to make every single plastic in a grocery store more than one-time use, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Think of all the plastic wrap, the bags of lettuce, or, pre-done salads, things like that. There's so much plastic in a grocery store. And they're telling the grocery industry here in California, by 2032, we don't want you to have any of those. Like, let's say they have to be in a Ziploc now. They could have a multi-use, or they have to be in some other form, like a paper bag form or something like that that's recyclable. So you tell me, is that going to make food costs less or more?
Yeah. A lot of these...
When you make a grocery store pay more to their employees, is that going to make groceries less or more? Like, it's just common sense. And with inflation the way it's been since 2020, in my opinion, you take a break from that stuff.
Yeah.
You slow your roll on the environmental and allow people to catch up.
Yeah.
My Lord. Like, people's incomes have not caught up with the cost of things. And that's the gap that we're in right now. Right?
Yeah.
It's just not up. Like, my food costs have gone up horribly. I can absorb them, but I can also really tell. I can tell. Like, how I told my husband, I'm like, you don't understand how much food has gone up.
Oh, no.
And then the restaurants have to pass that along. So now going out costs that much. It's just, it's crazy. So cost of living, number one, that's the long story for that short thing. And that covers so much ground. I mean, it covers healthcare, it covers fraud, waste, and abuse, which there's a ton in our system. You get rid of that, prices go down. Right. You get rid of all the regulatory burdens and stuff like that, prices go down. You make oil and gas more friendly. You start pumping gas locally again. All of a sudden, gas goes down. It's not really hard to figure out. It's very, very easy. And then second is public safety. That is always a big deal, especially in North Orange County. North Orange County is an older part of Orange County. Disneyland is here, but so are gangs that are 100 years old. So we have kind of like a criminal element that needs to be suppressed at all times. And there's a lot of people here. And there's a lot of just, in and out people. So theft, things like that, things happen here. Yeah. And so you need to have the tools for your law enforcement so that they can be on par with that criminal element, if that makes sense. And then when they do something and they make an arrest, they need that person to be punished appropriately. Yeah. And in this state, they're shutting down prisons. They're lowering sentences. Yeah. They're lowering this doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And even the things that you might hear in other states, such as underage sex, things that are happening to our children, this legislature and public safety committee doesn't think those things are that bad because they might have one story of a 17-year-old that fell in love with a 20-year-old. Right. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's that yucky stuff going on. Must be addressed. Must stay on it. Human trafficking's here. So public safety is huge, huge, huge. And the final thing, I'm a business owner. I mentioned that when I introduced myself. Business is absolutely under attack in California. The governor's budget introduce 4 new taxes to close the gap in his budget. All 4 of those will affect our businesses on top of everything else they've already done to our businesses. Again, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. Last year, I met with 100 businesses in 100 days in my district, and the stories that came out of talking to these businesses, and these are like small business to like mid-size. I didn't meet with giant companies because the majority of businesses in this area, that's who they are.
Okay.
And yet they employ most people.
Right.
So jobs, the economy, products and services, the quality that they bring to our communities, it makes no sense to me that we would attack business because business brings in the income. You want them to thrive. Business brings jobs. You want them to do better. You want them to want to hire people and not have to worry about being sued and, just all the things that come with, owning a business. And so I really see myself as being a huge advocate for business as well. And of course, public safety and cost of living affects them as well. So It's just like all these things are a nutshell, and then they also help the individual person. So if I had to pick my top 3, those would be my top 3. I already have lots of ideas, and most of them include rolling things back.
Okay.
Anyway, so thank you. Yeah, I'm very passionate. I hope I get a shot up there.
Yeah.
And I would be an honor to do that good work for the people in this area.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to to me it just looks like California is shifting a little bit. Finally there's a little bit of movement.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, people have just had it,
Yes.
so and I went to school for environmental science, and so of course I'm in favor of things that will help the environment, but the problem is they roll out these policies without really seeing how it's going to affect things. And a lot of these changes that they make actually have a worse impact on your carbon footprint. I used to be a vegetarian, and all the fake meat would be wrapped up in all this stuff. And it's like, okay, but to make the fake meat and to wrap the fake meat, you're actually hurting the environment by doing that. It's just, I don't know.
Well, our oil and gas situation is exactly that. We're not pumping oil here anymore, and we're attacking oil companies and making them leave. And now we have to bring in our oil and gas because we're not ready to be without oil and gas.
Right.
And so we're bringing it in from other countries, other states. So what does that mean? Trucking, shipping, we're hurting the environment even more.
Yeah.
But California's better.
Right.
I mean, I think.
Yeah.
Because the last miles of getting the stuff to the gas stations, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's worse.
Yeah.
No. But to your point, it's like, I felt that way when the electric vehicles came out. I still feel that way.
Yeah.
What are we doing with all those batteries? There's just so much things like that. Did we think through?
That's the problem. Is I think we need, I'm getting way off topic. So one thing is I think we need to have almost scientists advising policy when politicians are writing them out, like non-biased people writing environmental policies.
Well, sadly, I'll tell you that we do have those. We have policy centers that do that, and the politicians just ignore them.
Oh. Well,
and say you'll figure it out later.
Okay.
You'll figure out what to do with all those batteries.
Oh.
We'll ship them to Nevada.
Well, I'm glad that you guys have those resources, but dang, I did not know that.
And they are right that sometimes when government pushes, we do get innovative. Yeah. We get people looking for solutions. So there is a little bit of a push-pull there. But it's, to your point, it's gone overboard. It's too much too fast. It's not well thought out. It's not well planned. And the reason for that is because there's no one to hold them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know today?
Well, I don't think so. I think that, Steve Hilton says something a lot, and it's, as the United States goes, so the world goes.
Mhm.
And as California goes, so the United States goes. And California is a very important state.
Yeah.
So if people listening to this are so compelled and believe in, the more conservative, common sense approach to government, I hope they'll weigh in California. I hope they will, financially support or do what you're doing. You're giving me a voice, and people are going to hear that. And that's helpful to this California candidate. They can find me on my website at shaderforsenate.com. And then I'm on all the social media channels at Shader for Senate. So very, very easy. Just it's SHADER. Don't try to put any fancy other letters in it. Because a lot of people do. But I think that's it. And, I really appreciate it because, I'm in this deep. So I don't always hear the other people from other states. But I think you're right. A lot of people are rooting for California. They're watching it. They're hoping it's going to turn around. And thank you. I also appreciate prayers.
Yeah.
Because we need them to keep going. It's not easy here. It's really not. It's not easy to be a conservative in California, but it's not impossible. There are a lot of us. There's literally millions of us in this state. So we are here, and we do have a lot to work with, and we're doing the best we can to get the message out, and hoping for that day when all the voters, to your point, say enough is enough. Let's try something different. And hopefully in November we'll get some surprises.
Yeah. I'm going to be keeping tabs and see. I hope you do have some surprises, some really good things happening.
Me too. We got some great candidates this time for sure.
Yeah.
That people are going to be able to vote for. So it's very exciting.
Yeah. It is. I'm excited for you guys. I will put your website in the show notes, and pop in again anytime. I have a bunch of other questions. That it was a great conversation. I just kind of had my own questions that came up naturally, and there's other things that if you feel like you want to get more out there, more information out there, just come back whenever. So
yeah, I mean, it might be fun to come back in the fall
when
things are really heating up, and we have a lot of propositions that are pretty crazy that will be on the ballot. So there's a lot to talk about for sure out of California.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Well, I want to thank you for being here today, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.